Crude oil tanker in distress, 38 nautical miles off Sangamakanda Point. Cabinet approves to appoint a 9-member committee of experts to draft a new constitution. Twitter account of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's personal website hacked.
Good afternoon and welcome. This is Lunchtime News on TV1. I'm Jamal Ratnayaka for the Newsfirst team. Let's start off the look at those stories in detail. A crude oil tanker named the MT New Diamond is in distress 38 nautical miles off the seas of Sangamakanda Point. Now to give us a comprehensive update of the developing story, we now cross over to Chaturanga Hapuarachi, who is on standby in our newsroom. Chaturanga?
Thank you, Jaimal. Yes, as you said, we heard some distress calls from the ship that is located off the Sangamakanda Point in Ampara. Now, this was an image that was captured through satellite imagery earlier, before, when the ship was located somewhere in the seas of the Dondra Point, and obviously the ship along the day has moved towards the Ampara area, and that is where the Navy and the Marine Environment Protection Authority has received this distress call from this particular ship. As you can see, this is an oil tanker with the Panamanian flag flying. What do we know as of right now? We know that the Sri Lanka Air Force has also come in to assist in the rescue operations. We know that the Sri Lanka Navy responded very quickly, and they have also taken steps to rescue these people. The Army commander spoke to Newsfirst. He said that 19 crew members of this particular ship had been rescued by a commercial ship that was passing by, except for the captain and another officer. Let's first listen to the Army commander.
A crude oil tanker bearing the Panamanian flag, which was sailing to India, is in distress 38 nautical miles off the seas of Ampara. According to reports we have received, a malfunction in the engine has caused the situation. However, we have not been apprised of whether a fire has erupted. Several crew members on board the vessel, including the captain and another injured seaman, have been rescued by another vessel. 2 Sri Lanka Navy vessels have been deployed to aid in rescue efforts and are currently sailing towards the area.
Now, there are several questions that arise when an incident of this nature happens. First is, of course, this is an oil tanker, and whether there is any impact to the marine environment, especially the Sea of Sri Lanka in the Ampara region. So the Air Force has taken steps to deploy a Beechcraft reconnaissance aircraft to inspect the ship as well as the surrounding sea areas to ensure that everything is in order and this ship is not leaking any oil into the sea. We do not have an update from the Air Force at the moment, but if you stay close to Newsfirst, we will keep you updated about that as well. The second point is that there are 2 naval officers or crew members, including the captain, on board the vessel. We are yet to receive an update either from the Navy, Air Force or the Sri Lanka Army with regard to the rescue operations that are going. Of course, Lieutenant General Shavendra Silva, the Army commander, has kept us informed of the proceedings that are happening with regard to this rescue effort. Again, to recap, a distress call was received from a Panamanian flag flying oil tanker this morning regarding the distress of the Ampara area, and this was an image captured in the morning when the ship was located near the seas of Matara. And what we know at the moment is that 19 people had been rescued, 19 crew members, 2 are on board. The Air Force has deployed reconnaissance aircraft and the Navy too have taken steps to assist in the rescue operations. Jamal, it's back to you.
Thank you very much, Chaturanga, for that comprehensive update. Moving on in more local news, State Minister Shacindra Rajapaksa, addressing a public meeting held in Bibile yesterday, expressed his views regarding the ministry allocated to him.
Our citizens are intelligent now. I believe in the future there will be a political revolution and new people who can work will enter politics. This is why our president labeled every subject avenue in the ministry in the title. It is really hard to tell ministry's title. This ministerial title got everything, starting from paddy, vegetables, fruits, everything. It is a big responsibility. When I got this, I thought it's just paddy, cereal, potatoes, and cabbage. But when I went there, I realized that this is not an easy task. These days, I am studying everything. I don't have to study on what to do because there are enough intellectuals taken in as directors and chairmen in the agricultural ministry who knows that.
Member of Parliament representing the Kandy district, Vasantayapa Bandara, engaged in an inspection tour of the Giragama Teacher Training College, which is currently in a decrepit state.
The Teacher Training College, which bears historic value, is constructed on a 19-acre land. It was named the Mampitiawalawa prior to being converted into a teacher training college. Chairman of the Kandy District Coordinating Committee, MP Vasantayapa Bandara, engaged in an inspection tour to assess the current situation of the college.
ඇත්තටම මේ වගේ මේ හුඹස් බඳින තත්ත්වයට එනකම්ම මේ ස්ථාන ගරා වැටෙනකම් මේවා සුපරීක්ෂණයක් නොවී තිබීම ජාති.
Whichever government is in power, the Department of Archaeology should preserve this. The Mampitiawalawa is a historic monument. The Antiquities Act is quite strong. If the people are educated on its severity, these places will not end up in ruins. If not, they should attempt to preserve these through the Urban Development Authority. My request is to preserve these places by directing funds.
මේ වගේ ජාතික සම්පත් හුඹස් බඳිනකම් තියෙන තත්ත්වයට පත් වෙන්න දෙන්න එපා කියන කාරණේ ඉල්ලීම මම කරන්නේ.
As you may know, several tremors were reported in the Kandy district yesterday and on the 28th of last month. Now, where did these tremors originate from? Newsfirst's Zulfiq Farzan reports from Kandy.
So I'm right now in the Ambakote area in the Central Hills, where recently two tremors were felt on the 29th evening and yesterday morning. Now the people in this area, when we spoke to them, told us that on that night, on the 29th, they felt they heard a loud noise and they felt something rumbling under the surface, and even the roofing sheets were shaken in the area. And yesterday, though they did not hear a rumbling noise, they definitely felt something shaking under the ground. So the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau have sent teams to inspect the whole incident that has taken place here. Now we are roughly around 2 kilometers away also from the Victoria Reservoir, which is located close by. Now also in the vicinity are several limestone mines. Now when we visited one mine, the people there raised concerns actually with regard to the claims made by certain authorities that the tremors could have been the incidents as a result of explosions in these mines. However, they refute these claims, saying that late at night and early in the morning they do not engage in mining. So those are the latest updates that we have here from Ambakote in the Central Hills. We will be back with more details. I'm Zulfiq Farzan for News First.
Moving on to some tragic news which was reported earlier today. 2 people travelling in a motor vehicle have died after it struck a tree in the Navinna junction in Maharagam.
According to police, 2 others have been injured in the crash. Those who sustained injuries have been admitted to the South Colombo Teaching Hospital in Kalubo Villa. Police suspect speeding is the cause of the accident.
Five suspects, including 2 women, have been arrested for transporting heroin hidden inside 5 coconuts. Police said 2 suspects in relation to this were arrested from the Muragahena area.
The other 3 suspects have been arrested in Gaul. More than 500 grams of heroin were found in their possession. Police said further investigations are underway into the incident.
In more local news, Government the door-to-door program toured in several areas of the island today as well in search of unresolved issues faced by the rural community in Sri Lanka.
The Gum at the Door-to-Door program is currently underway, covering all the districts in the island, together with the University of Peradeniya. These are issues that we were told from the areas in Mulathivu, Polonnaruwa and Ratnapura. The villages of Mulagama and Vatapala, attached to the Balangura Divisional Secretariat in the Ratnapura district, are facing a severe drinking water crisis. Despite an electric fence, the villagers say elephants encroach their villages, affecting more than 400 families. This is the Hinguragoda Primary School. The main issue the children here face is the lack of an aesthetics classroom and related facilities.
We're here in the Millana area where the villagers are saying that they're suffering with a wild elephant case. These villagers add that they have already lost 4 villagers as they have been attacked by wild elephants and killed. They say that they have informed the relevant officials regarding this. However, no electric fence has been provided. Of course, the only thing they ask for is a wild elephant fence which has electricity running through it so that they can protect themselves in the middle of the night and their farms so that they do not lose their only form of income. Of course, stay tuned with News First as we bring you more updates from the Gum at the Door-to-Door initiative here in the Polonnaruwa district. For the News First team, I'm David Palda.
The Gum at the team also toured the Mamule village in Mulathivu. An issue that is prevalent in this area is that children who are under 15 do not attend school. These villagers are living with many economic hardships. In news overseas, India has banned 118 apps with links to China, citing national security risks. The ban was announced last night. The banned apps include major gaming titles, including Tencent Holdings' PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, popularly known as PUBG. It comes against the backdrop of rising geopolitical tensions between the two nations. The list of 118 mostly Chinese apps also includes applications from Baidu and Xiaomi's ShareSave. India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology said in a statement, quote-unquote, apps collect and share data in a surreptitious manner and compromise personal data and information of users that can have a severe threat to the security of the state, unquote. It added the apps threatened India's sovereignty and integrity. Tencent Holdings has declined to comment on the matter so far. The latest ban comes a day after a senior Indian official said troops were deployed on 4 strategic hilltops after what Delhi called an attempted Chinese incursion along a disputed Himalayan border. Taking a look back at some local news, a 9-member special committee has been approved by the cabinet to establish the new constitution. Meanwhile, co-cabinet spokesperson Uday Gammampilla says the approved draft 20th amendment to the constitution will be published via a gazette later today. He made these remarks at a media briefing held to announce cabinet decisions.
අපි උනත් හිතුවේ නෑ සමානුපාතික ක්‍රමය යටතේ 3/2 බලයක් ලබා ගැනීමට හැකි වේවි කියලා.
To be honest, even we didn't expect a 2/3 majority under the proportional voting system. Even former President J.R. Jayawardena made a prediction back then that no government will be able to get a 2/3 majority in the future. It was decided yesterday in the cabinet meeting to appoint an expert committee to work with the new constitution, which will replace the 1978 constitution. Accordingly, an expert committee consisting of 9 members is appointed in the meeting yesterday. President Council Romesh De Silva will head the committee as the chairman. President's Council Gamini Marapana, President's Council Manohara De Silva, President's Council Sanjeeva Jayawardena, Professor G.L. Piris, Professor Nazima Kamurdin, Professor Sarveswaran, President's Council Saman Ratratna, Professor Vasanta Senaviratna will comprise the rest of the committee.
ඉදිරිපත් කිරීමට අමාත්‍ය මණ්ඩල අනුමැතිය ලැබුණා.
In more news from neighbouring India now, Twitter has said that an account for the personal website of Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been hacked. A series of tweets were sent from the account asking followers to donate cryptocurrency to a relief fund. Twitter said it was aware of the activity and had taken steps to secure the compromised account. This is the latest high-profile security breach after similar attacks in July on US presidential hopeful Joe Biden and Tesla founder Elon Musk. The account with over 2.5 million followers is the official Twitter handle for Modi's personal website. His personal Twitter account, which was unaffected by this incident, has more than 61 million followers. Moving on to sports news, Colombo Football Club emerged victorious at the 2020 President's Cup after defeating Blue Eagles yesterday. This is the first major football competition to be held in South Asia
after the coronavirus outbreak with the participation of 20 leading clubs in the country.
The final of the 2020 President's Cup was played at the Sugatadasa Stadium in Colombo under floodlight. Colombo Football Club led the first half by 1-0 in a match that was played at a fast and furious pace from the opening whistle. Colombo Football Club capitalized the momentum they gained in the first half to score 3 more goals in the second half. Their opponents, Blue Eagles, though, weren't able to enter the scoreline due to some very good defense from the Colombo Football Club. Accordingly, Colombo Football Club clinched the 2020 President's Cup title 4-0. Mohammad Fazal was named the most valuable player of the final, while New Young's Football Club, Benapur, received the Fair Play Award.
And with that, it's a wrap of lunchtime news on TV1. We leave you this afternoon with yet another rendition of the Nagitimu Sri Lanka theme song sung by the children of the Hinguraka Primary School in Polonnaruwa. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Jamal Ratnayaka. Take care and good evening.
Sri Lanka. Nagitimu, Sri Lanka.